it's 6:53 a.m. and I've decided to, while going to work, maybe do a few short videos. What I'd like to do today is talk about my book series called The Truth About. So a few years ago, the church missionaries came to my house. Me being a 10 plus year member of the LDS Church. And it was in that time where the series Under the Banner of Heaven and Keep Sweet aired on Netflix and I think Amazon. So they went and spoke to people, and the people wanted to know if the stuff in the shows were true. Well, obviously, being a full-time missionary for the LDS Church, it means that you're 2 years without any television, and even if you visit people, you're not allowed to watch TV. Even though I've had missionaries that we watched religious documentaries together. For instance, we watched a show where I think it's Michael Roll or David Roll, where he talked about the Egyptian pharaohs, and there was one instance where he talked about Hebrew that was written in hieroglyphs. Now that was interesting because my idea was, because Joseph Smith said, or the Book of Mormon said, that Nephi wrote the books or the plates in the language of his father, but in the writing of the Egyptians. So in other words, it was Hebrew but with Egyptian hieroglyphs. That made more sense because you could write more words with less characters. So they started talking to me about the questions that a lot of people had, members and investigators. And I told them, let me get information together for you guys, because this might help you. Not knowing that it will end up being A5, more than 1,000 pages. So I started going on about topics like who is God and baptism and the Antichrist and the Nephilim and all these topics. I'll put a link to the books in the comments below, as I'm using a live stream app at the moment and I can't type because it's on my phone. So we started this journey together, and what I did was I got the information. So the 3 books or 3 volume books The Truth About Volume 1, 2 and 3 is 90% information, 10% my own thoughts. I've written a few books before, The Rising Legend of the Mantis, Eden, all short. Okay, Eden is a short story. Then The Heart's Desire, a book of poetry, all available on lulu.com. And now I wrote this non-fiction book, which I had no idea how to do, but in 6 months' time I could get so much information about stuff that it's actually ridiculous. And now that I want to write the 4th installment, I do not know what to do. So I found a publisher in England, Words Are Life. Unfortunately, due to personal reasons, she isn't able to do more editorial job on the books, which is sad. So I have no idea how many copies I've sold. I know that I've sold one set personally to people, or to a lady, and she loves the books. And a friend of mine in America also bought a set of the books, and he loves them. So the irony about writing a book like that is, especially when you put in the name The Truth About. So the truth can never change, that's the truth, but your opinion can. Our biggest problem is we don't know who to trust for the truth. Now, for instance, LDS teachings, most people say it's a false religion. Michael Root and Jake Hilton definitely hates the LDS Church, or at least what they stand for, because like Keith Johnson said, Father Yahweh, teach me to love what you love and teach me to hate what you hate. Now, I must admit, I've been angry at Jake Hilton for being an anti-Mormon, but I wasn't angry at Jake per se. So I'm a convert to the LDS religion, LDS Church, and when I joined, I was in the Dutch Reformed, but nothing made sense for me in the church. They had all these weird ideas like the Trinity, and that the Trinity is God is 3 personages but one being, and our one reverend who's passed away now, may his soul rest in peace, he once said God is like a Russian doll. There's 3 dolls inside of each other, and that's how God is. And after the sermon I told the reverend, but you're talking nonsense now, because this doesn't make sense. And his opinion was, or remarks were, yeah, but we don't know the ways of God. It's higher than us, beyond our perception or comprehension. Okay, fine. Me being 18, 19 years old, I just said, okay, fine, because what did I know that time? Then a few years later, he had the same sermon. This time, his sermon made sense. He said, okay, so how do we understand the Trinity? God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I am my mother's son. I'm also your reverend, and I am my children's father. Well, that makes sense. But now your problem is you can't actually use that on the Trinity if you talk about Jehovah and Yeshua and then the Holy Spirit. So Mormon belief, and I'm taking it from the lectures on faith, is God the Father is a personage of spirit, and God the Son is a personage of tabernacle, meaning a body, and the Holy Spirit is the mind of God, which makes a lot more sense if you take the mind as being the essence, the core, what he is, the hive mind basically. And the more I thought about it, I came into the realization that the Trinity only works on Yeshua, because according to John, he is the creator, so he's the father of all living things. He's the son because of the body, which is also stated so in lectures on faith, lecture 5, and he is a Holy Spirit. So that works perfectly for me. But we cannot say that God and Jesus is the same being. Because so Jesus told himself that, or he asked himself that he himself can pass this cup by. He asked himself that, or he told himself that he was proud of himself by landing on himself as a dove. He told himself that it is fulfilled or completed, or however you want to say it, and he himself sent himself and impregnated his mother himself so that he himself could be born. So if you guys are as confused as I am, welcome to the club. So the Trinity doctrine is a bogus doctrine, and a lot of people are falling for this. Now, the Mormon Godhead isn't necessarily correct, but I'll come back to you on that one. So for now, may Jehovah bless you, and may the sacrifice of Yeshua, his son, bring peace to you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.